Did you say they're going to take another break? Oh my gosh.
Now on Denver7 News, from the bottom of the barrel to potential postseason contenders.
Just because you won, a couple games doesn't mean anything at this point, and you got to be able to prove it week in and week out.
The Broncos looking to get their 5th straight win and keep their season alive just a little bit longer.
Plus, after a tough loss last year, the Ore Diggers are back in the playoffs, and this year, they're out for revenge.
The national championship is in the back of the mind. It's what we all want and where we all want to be. It's just about playing Mines football and playing to our standard.
And temperatures in the teens throughout the long holiday weekend. Tonight, our Denver7 weather team is tracking when things are expected to warm back up.
Welcome to this post-game edition of Denver7 News. I'm Jacqueline Allen.
And I'm Jessica Porter. Glad you're with us tonight. And thanks for staying with us through the Texas Tech game. And while we're talking football tonight, it's been a November to remember for several Colorado teams.
You can say that again. Sports anchor Nick Rothschild joins us. And Nick, the Broncos have a lot to be thankful for this Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah, and really the only reason to stay with us through that game was Arch Manning at the end. Keep an eye on him. And some good news for the Denver Broncos. Safety P.J. Locke continues to trend in the right direction towards playing on Sunday against Cleveland. He was a full participant at practice today. He expects to play on Sunday, as does Myles Garrett, which is decidedly less good news for Denver. Garrett is the far and away front runner for Defensive Player of the Year. He's an absolute game wrecker. And Sean Payton says priority number one is knowing where Garrett is at all times.
I've not seen a defensive player as impactful this season on tape, and he's changing games. He's a dominant player, and not only on defense, he's gone on field goal block and blocked the kick. So this guy is something else.
Not a good night for the Nuggets in H-Town, playing on that hideous red floor, and we can just attribute this dumpster fire performance to that, I think. Nikola Jokic was still nice, 38 points, 19 boards for the Joker, but the Nuggets dropped their second in a row, 105-86. Before we get to Avs highlights, defenseman Sam Girard announcing today that he's entering treatment for severe anxiety and depression that has led to alcohol abuse. Girard is getting help from the NHL's Player Assistance Program. He will be out indefinitely. Avs in Minneapolis taking on the Wild. Ross Colton opened up the scoring in the first. Absolute snipe job by Ross the boss. And Valeri Nichushkin, the choo-choo train, keeps on rolling, his 6th straight game with a goal. Avs win this one 3-2. Football excellence returning in Golden tomorrow after a week's hiatus for rest and recovery. Colorado Mines begins their playoff run against Augustana. Coincidentally, Ore Diggers head coach Pete Sturbick, he's an alum of Augustana University. And this week, he hopes to inflict damage upon his alma mater. That's basically what Mines has been doing all year. The last 3 weeks of this regular season, the Ore Diggers outscored their opponents 201-10. Now, the scoring differential may change in the playoffs, but after losing in last year's national title game, these playoffs are all about the Al Davis approach to football. Just win, baby.
I'd like to put up 80. But it's just always, every single week, no matter who we play, top to bottom, it's just about playing Mines football and playing to our standard. And I think if we do that, we'll be able to come out and play well and dominate.
Our whole focus, our off-season training, everything's to push through the regular season, get to the playoffs, and then be peaking as we're going into it. And so we really feel good about where we are.
Boy, the month of Movember is just flying by. Only a few more man facts left to go and a few more days for you to contribute to my Movember campaign. Help me fund men's health resources and research. Okay, today's man fact may be a little on the nose considering the time of year. Men are more likely to binge drink than women. 21% of all men report binge drinking within the last month, and a quarter of the men that report binge drinking do so at least 5 times per month.
I've been learning a lot from you this month, Nick. Thanks so much. We'll check back in. Now to a check on the forecast. After after a very frigid Black Friday.
So cold out there. Meteorologist Stacey Johnson joins us tonight. And Stacey, a few more cold days like this before we see that warm up.
That's right. Just a couple days ago, we were in the upper 60s for afternoon highs. Right now, we're in the teens, but our wind chill factor in the single digits and below zero in places. So it will be a very cold night tonight and very cold start to the day tomorrow. We'll get down to 11 for our actual temperature in Denver, 1 in Sterling, and 10 in Akron, with single digits and teens off to the west. Right here around Metro Denver, mostly single digits and teens here overnight as well. So if you're waking up early tomorrow, it's going to be a cold day for us. We have another wave of snow headed our direction from the southwest. We have a few leftover snow showers here across the eastern plains, but we're waiting on this next wave of snow showers to move on in, and they will be affecting us tomorrow. So we still have winter weather advisories, winter storm warnings here for the western portion of the state, also for the eastern plains, as well as snow moves through there. So our hourly planner tomorrow includes some snowflakes early on. Should be very light snow, but temperatures, look at these, in the teens all the way through lunchtime, with the wind chill factor closer to zero than not. So our afternoon highs tomorrow in the mid-20s here. We'll have 20s for the eastern plains and 20s and 30s off to the west.
Ooh, that is cold. Thank you, Stacey. A Denver man is recovering in the hospital after a life-changing accident. He recently tripped down the stairs at his home and it left him paralyzed.
And now his family is struggling to make their home wheelchair accessible. Here's Sam Pena for Denver 7 Gives.
It's behind here.
A gate to a steep staircase in her home left Chanda Blanchett temporarily in a wheelchair.
I just misstepped and broke my ankle.
The accidents forced her to relearn the basics.
It's actually been a very eye-opening being in this.
Like cooking.
Got the turkey cooking.
Her family's favorite dishes. But the delicious deviled eggs.
We've got those ready to go.
And her tears aren't because of the ankle.
It was a minute-by-minute worry if I would see him again.
The real tragedy lies just a half-mile away at Vibra Hospital.
Multiple fractures in his spine. He's probably never going to walk again.
Her husband, Eric Blanchett.
Lost all feeling and all motion from about my chest right here down.
After tripping and falling just a month ago, down those very same steps.
That quick literally changed my entire life. I felt like it was over.
Now wheelchair bound.
It scares me thinking about how somebody's gonna have to help me change or help me get in bed or help me with this, help me with that.
Eric's fear of dependence.
I don't want that.
Led to despair.
For a while there, I dreamt and I wished that maybe I would have died because I wouldn't have to hurt all the people that I love. And I wouldn't have to have them do all this for me because I never wanted that. I just wanted to live. Oh God, sorry. But just have to, I don't know, it's hard.
In the months since,
I've used a wheelchair one time.
His challenging rehab.
My arms are not strong enough.
Isn't the worst struggle.
I want to feel comfortable in my own home.
It's this.
We got to back over.
An inaccessible home.
There's no room to even turn the wheelchair enough to get through.
That they can't afford to fix.
Upwards of $15,000. And
with an expensive housing market,
yikes.
They're trying to budget for a remodeling.
Everything needs to be widened.
But while the steep stairs leave haunting memories,
it's a scary feeling.
And the narrow spaces are unwelcoming.
It is a tight squeeze here.
For Eric, there's not a doubt in his mind where he wants to be.
I dream every day that I'm back home.
For Denver 7,
it's hard.
I'm Sam Pena.
That is so much to go through. If you would like to help the Blanchett family, visit the Denver 7 Give section of our website. Just click on the Donate Now button and select Help Make Eric's Home Wheelchair Accessible from the drop-down menu.
Thinking about that family. All right, still to come, free Christmas trees in Colorado.
How some families can get a free tree chopping permit from the state. That's next. Well, now that Thanksgiving is over, it's time for many Coloradans to go out and buy their Christmas trees.
And if you are looking to get one the old-fashioned way, permits are now on sale in the Pikes Peak Ranger District. Those permits went on sale today. They're $20 a tree. You can pick a tree in person starting Monday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and as part of the Every Kids Outdoors initiative, all fourth graders in our state are eligible for one free Christmas tree permit. You have to present a valid voucher from the Every Kid Outdoors website.
Well, we still have chances for snow in our forecast along with very cold temperatures tonight. Our wind chill factor 11 here in Denver now. Feels like it's 2 below in Akron and 2 in Sterling, and same across the eastern plains. Now, as for our hourly planner tomorrow, we are going to see more snow showing up for the early part of the day. Should see clearing later in the afternoon, but these temperatures, they'll stay pretty chilly. Only 18 degrees by lunchtime. Light snow into tomorrow morning. It'll be cold through the rest of the weekend, and then 40s and 50s are back in the forecast into next week. As for our weather almanac, 25 degrees our afternoon high today. That happens to be very close to our average overnight low this time of year. We should be around 49 degrees for our high. It's 19 degrees downtown now, 18 at DIA, and our winds out of the west at 5 miles an hour. It looks like a winter wonderland out there with that little coating of snow, about 2 to 4 inches across much of the Front Range. And we have another wave of snow coming in from the southwest, which will be here for tomorrow morning. Why we are expecting more snow headed our way. A few leftover snow showers here for the eastern plains southwest of Ray, and we're watching the snow fall here from Aspen out toward Grand Junction into Salida and Colorado City. So this area, a little bit of light snow. We could see a few more inches before all is said and done by tomorrow. Lows tomorrow morning in the single digits and teens here for our area, teens and 20s off to the west. We'll have 11 at DIA, 10 in Denver with 9 in Parker, and 13 for Boulder and Longmont, 7 in New Raymer. Now, as we get toward the overnight hours, we'll see a few flakes flying, but then we start to see more snow settle into the area around 9 o'clock in the morning up till about lunchtime. Then this energy pushes off to the south and east after about noon. So then we'll clear things out and warm things up a little more into Sunday. Winter weather advisories here for northern and central mountains. Winter storm warning here down to the southwest. Our snowfall forecast, just light amounts of snow through tomorrow morning, and down through southwestern Colorado, about 6 to 7 more inches possible, according to the models. We'll have to see if that flushes out. But highs tomorrow only in the 20s here. We'll have 20s to the west into the higher elevations, and 20s up into northeastern Colorado. So some light snow pushing into the area tomorrow, and it looks like after about noon, we'll start to see that sink to the south, and we'll have cloudy, cold conditions late in the day. Broncos versus the Browns, we'll have temperatures in the 30s on Sunday at kickoff, and all the way toward the fourth quarter, 30 degrees at that point. Super 7-day forecast, 20s on Saturday, 30s on Sunday, and then 40s and 50s throughout next week. The warmest day being Wednesday with a high of 50 degrees.
Welcome back to Denver 7 News. I'm Jacqueline Allen.
And I'm Jessica Porter. A Citizens Oversight Board is calling for more accountability tonight to make sure Denver is honoring its settlement agreements in police-related lawsuits.
Denver 7's Brandon Richard shows us the changes they are demanding.
Well, police misconduct can be very costly. In fact, the city of Denver spends millions of dollars a year paying settlements. But a watchdog group has issued an open letter saying the city needs to do a better job of living up to its promises in those settlements.
This week marks 8 years since the death of Michael Marshall.
Michael Marshall was an individual who was experiencing a mental health crisis in the Denver Sheriff's Department custody.
Video shows deputies held Marshall face down for several minutes. A medical examiner said this caused him to choke on his vomit and ruled his death a homicide. The city settled with the family for $4.6 million.
Thinking about the death of Michael Marshall, our board administrator really started to look into the settlement that surrounded his death. And
Julia Richmond chairs Denver's Citizen Oversight Board, which reviews police training and discipline. She says in reviewing cases like Marshall's, they found the city was not complying with parts of the settlements where the city promises change.
The non-financial elements of these cases are the things that prevent harm in the future for members of the public, members of the city. And that's really where the change is supposed to take place.
The board says the city has done a poor job tracking records and sharing critical information that would show its progress. Friday, they issued an open letter to the mayor and other leaders detailing their findings.
And so we wanted to raise awareness around that and wanted the city to begin to take these seriously. With a new mayor and new council, we felt like this is the time to start to have this conversation. We can do this differently going forward.
In a statement, the mayor told us citizens' trust that the city will enforce and follow through with settlement agreements is crucial, and we will continue to work diligently to ensure we meet Denverites' expectations. Since 2022, the Oversight Board says the city has paid out more than $17 million in police-related settlements, including $9 million since July. In Denver, Brandon Richard, Denver 7.
Thank you so much for watching this postgame edition of Denver 7 News.
Stick around though, Denver 7 News at 10 will start in just a few minutes. We got lots more to come. We'll see you then.
A surge in organized retail theft,
You do have easy access to very high-end product.
putting a damper on holiday shopping.
But I can't just stop somebody. I'm not a police officer.
Everyone works hard for their money, and then, people come in and steal things.
Just how much these Grinches are costing Colorado shoppers.
Cold air sticks around even through tomorrow. Highs only in the 20s for the day. I'll let you know if we'll see some snow as well.
And as the cold weather settles in,
They've made a very dangerous trip.
newcomers are left out in the cold, the top obstacle between migrants and a warm home.
Thank you for joining us for Denver 7 News at 10. I'm Jessica Porter.
And I'm Jacqueline Allen. Black Friday marks the start of the holiday shopping season. And this year, there's a reason retailers may see more disruptions from criminals.
According to the National Retail Federation, there's been a surge in organized retail crime. Last year, businesses lost $112 billion due to theft, and that's up 19% from the year before. And the Denver Metro is not immune to these crimes.
Tonight, Denver 7's Claire Lavazor is finding out how police here in Colorado are trying to take down these organized crime rings.
Stores aren't the only ones bearing the brunt of retail theft. It's estimated organized retail crime costs the average American family $500 per year. As Black Friday shoppers are checking gifts off their holiday lists.
I did end up getting this lovely puzzle for my dog child.
New flannel. I love flannels if you can't tell.
Detective Sergeant Keith Weimer with the Wheat Ridge Police Department says crime rings are making theirs too, targeting places like Ulta in the Applewood Village Shopping Center.
You do have easy access to very high-end product, and the stores flow in a way to where they can access the product and get quickly to the door without being obstructed.
Watch as this woman in tan opens up a Macy's bag and starts filling it with high-end fragrances. She makes her way around the aisles with an employee right on her heels before walking out the front door. Police say she returned to the store 2 more times, stealing $6,000 worth of perfume and cologne. These thieves have specific items on their lists, anything from cosmetics to Tide detergent to even vitamins, says Weimer, which are then sold on the black market.
In our experience, they're jumping from one city to the next.
While stores are implementing anti-theft measures, you likely won't see any employees getting involved.
A lot of it is concern about litigation and also just the well-being of their employees.
Weimer says breaking the rings apart comes down to help from other departments across the Denver metro.
While we might have a single instance here in Wheat Ridge, they may have had 50, 60 in their jurisdiction, and they already have a good background and idea of other players involved.
In Wheat Ridge, I'm Claire Lavazorio for Denver7.
Times have certainly changed, and the woman you saw in that Ulta surveillance video still hasn't been located by Wheat Ridge police. If you recognize her, call Metro Denver Crime Stoppers. Meanwhile, police in Boulder are looking for 2 women accused of stealing 2 Rolex watches worth $42,000. Boulder Police Department says they were taken from a jewelry store on Pearl Street November 11th. Police say the women distracted an employee and then took the watches before walking out of the store. Anyone with information is asked to contact Boulder Police.
Going in depth on what's being done to prevent crime this holiday season, Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office is using a very visible 4-legged approach. It's a mounted patrol, and it will be out at the streets at South Glen and Centennial. Listen to this.
Studies show that when law enforcement is visible, crime goes down and public trust goes up. People who are thinking about doing crimes in the area or scoping out cars in the area will think differently about doing it when they see us around.
And those horses go through monthly trainings to expose them to everyday objects they might encounter while on the job, from baby strollers to balloons.
On a federal level, a bipartisan group of lawmakers, including Colorado Representative Ken Buck, introduced a bill to crack down on organized retail theft. The bill would combine resources from federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies, creating a coordination center under the Department of Homeland Security. Agencies would work under one system to share information regarding organized retail crimes. Bill sponsors say this coordinated effort would better track and detect organized crime.
Self-checkouts are becoming more and more popular in retailers nationwide. Now, some stores are doing away with cashiers altogether, but according to an industry-funded study, 23% of retailer losses are due to theft and customer error happening at these self-checkouts. Nearly 100 retailers were a part of this study. 2/3 said self-checkout losses are a growing concern.
Denver police arrested a man today in connection to a fatal stabbing. It happened Thursday near Park Avenue and Lawrence Street. Arrest documents say Guido Izquierdo Ortega threatened a group of people because they were Venezuelan immigrants. A man intervened and was stabbed to death. Izquierdo Ortega is being held on first-degree murder charges.
New tonight, former police officer Derek Chauvin was stabbed in federal prison. This is the former Minneapolis police officer convicted in the murder of George Floyd. The Associated Press reports Chauvin was stabbed by another inmate and seriously injured. This happened at the Federal Correctional Institution in Tucson. Last summer, Chauvin was sentenced to 21 years in federal prison for violating Floyd's civil rights and a 22-year sentence for second-degree murder. Floyd was killed in May 2020 after Chauvin pressed his knee on Floyd's neck, leading to his death. 3 other former officers were also sentenced.
Now to Denver 7 weather. The snow tapered off earlier today for much of the metro, but you're definitely feeling those cold temperatures. They kept roads icy and slick. Douglas County Sheriff's Office responded this morning to this 11 vehicle crash on State Highway 470 at South Broadway. South Metro Fire Rescue described the road as a sheet of ice. Luckily, though, no injuries were reported. The off-ramp has since reopened.
What a mess.
And these frigid temperatures, unfortunately, sticking around through the weekend.
Meteorologist Stacey Johnson's here with the first check of our holiday cold forecast.
Wow, now that we've had the snow come through, we'll see a little more tomorrow, but the cold air is really in place. A 7-degree wind chill right now is what it feels like in Denver, 1 below for Akron and 2 for Sterling, with 4 and 5 for Fort Collins and Greeley, respectively. Our lows by tomorrow morning will be in the single digits and teens here across the eastern plains, and it's going to feel very cold out throughout the day tomorrow. Our afternoon highs, they're only going to be in the 20s for the day. We have another round of snow coming in through southwestern Colorado as we go through tonight and early tomorrow. So we have a little leftover snow here across the plains, but we're keeping our eyes on this snow coming in through the western portion of the state, and it will be arriving tomorrow. So we have winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings in effect still for parts of the state, as our metro hourly planner shows you that we'll see some snowflakes tomorrow with those very cold temperatures sticking around.
You can download the Denver 7 app on your phone, and we will send push alerts about the weather in your area. You can also find us on Roku, Apple TV, and wherever else you stream.
More than 2,000 migrants are in Denver shelters tonight, but their time is running out.
Some are now finding themselves on the streets in these freezing temperatures. Denver 7's Christian Lopez spoke with migrant families today asking for help.
I'm from Colombia and she's from Venezuela.
¿Cuánto tiempo tienen en Denver?
We've been in Denver approximately a month.
I spoke to Freyman Escorcia and his wife Nadelis, who say their time at this Denver shelter is running out.
When your time is up, they kick you out. There's no help when you get out.
All while also counting down
She's 7 months pregnant.
to the birth of their child. They're worried about ending up on the streets, like dozens of other migrant families now living in this large encampment at Spear and Zunai.
A lot of people outside who have been kicked out, they have nowhere to go, so they're out here with these temperatures. It's concerning because there's kids and pregnant women like her.
Many families who are staying in these tents tell us that they were previously living in this hotel, but they were kicked out because their time ran out. They tell us the only reason they're getting by is because of generous community members like these who are constantly stopping by and delivering food and other donations. They're urging the city of Denver to do more to help. They tell us work permits.
I bet you if they help all these people get work permits, you wouldn't see all of this out here.
Are a major obstacle.
We're simply asking for help. We know how to work. A lot of people outside with this cold is a cruel thing.
As it stands now, families have 37 days before they're forced out. Individuals only have 15. While the city of Denver says it hasn't forced anyone out in the last week, clearly many are still left out in the cold. Reporting in Denver, I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
It is so heartbreaking to see kids out there like that. And Denver Mayor Mike Johnston took Denver's migrant crisis to the White House earlier this month. Mayor Mike Johnston joined Chicago's mayor to meet with the president's chief of staff and the senior advisor managing the migrant response. Johnston says his top request was for the federal government to increase migrant work authorization.
And meanwhile, Denver is activating 2 overnight shelters tonight. The New Directions Ballroom on Quebec Street, that is the former Best Western Hotel, as well as the Denver Coliseum. Both locations open from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. tonight through Sunday, and buses will take people there from the St. Francis Center on Curtis Street between 6:30 and 9 every night.
One pilot's actions brought national attention to Denver.
A Denver 7 Investigates report sparking conversation online.
We just want to talk to you about, get your side of the story. I'm certainly happy to talk.
Those responses next.
Earlier this month, Denver7 Investigates looked into issues surrounding the Denver International Airport employee parking lot.
And that investigation was sparked by one pilot's actions. Take a look. If you've seen this, it's hard to forget. A United Airlines pilot took an axe to a parking lot gate this summer. Denver7 Investigates found that this pilot was not alone in his frustrations.
The airport had received dozens of complaints about failures at the employee lot before that pilot ever grabbed his axe.
Tonight, Chief Investigative Reporter Tony Kowaleski is sharing emails and social media reactions from our viewers.
Viewers were clearly passionate about what we uncovered in our report, many taking the side of the pilot, others questioning his actions. But before we take you inside the comments, a quick catch-up for the viewers that have not yet seen our report. You've already seen this video, an afternoon last August at the airport's employee parking lot. The United Airlines pilot using an axe from his car in an attempt to open the parking lot gate. What we didn't know until we started asking questions is the large number of complaints filed with the airport. We uncovered more than 3 dozen, and we also were able to hear real frustrations from employees leaving the lot. Do you understand why that pilot was so frustrated?
Yes, I do. Yeah. And I think everybody that works here and parks here does.
I'm certainly happy to talk.
Our investigative team also obtained an exclusive copy of law enforcement body camera video that included a telling interview with the United Airlines pilot shortly after he was arrested.
What happened today, sir? Everyone has a limit, and it is reached at different levels. I just happened to hit mine this afternoon. Just happened to be the parking lot, and the exit wasn't working. What wasn't getting resolved for you? There was a great long lineup of vehicles in all 3 lanes that were stopped there because the sensors and the barriers for the exit wasn't working.
And that leads us to the outpouring of response from our viewers. On Facebook, Latifa writes, "I feel bad for the pilot, actually. I hope he keeps his job and also gets the counseling he needs for his frustrations." Austin on Facebook responded, "Yes, they held me hostage in May for 2 hours at the gate because their machines didn't work." And Gary wrote, "Malfunctioning parking gates may be an inexpensive mental stability test." On Instagram, another viewer shared, "The problem has not been fixed at all. Every time in the last month that my husband has tried to enter or exit the employee lot, the scanner to let him in or out has not worked, and he has had to call for assistance." And finally, a couple of emails, first from Bob. "Thanks for the coverage of parking problems for employees at the airport, but it's not getting better." And Alex added, "The shuttles still aren't leaving on time. I don't park there for my own safety and sanity." Clearly, viewers showing empathy for the pilot and anger for the airlines, but it's also important to note here that many viewers questioned the pilot's decision to grab an axe to show his anger, saying that went simply too far. Now, the pilot has agreed to enroll in a 12-month diversion program in exchange for dropping of the criminal charges. We also contacted his airline. United Airlines says he remains off the schedule until the airline completes its internal investigation. I'm Chief Investigative Reporter Tony Kowaleski.
What a change in the last 24 hours. We've had snow move through the area, about 2 to 4 inches here across the Front Range. And now the cold air has settled in and we're not quite done with the snowfall yet. Wind chill right now, 8 degrees in Denver, 1 below for Akron. And we have teens and 20s for the higher elevations. And our hourly planner tomorrow morning includes some snowflakes with temperatures in the teens all the way through lunchtime. 18 degrees at noon with our afternoon high only in the mid-20s again for tomorrow. So light snow tomorrow morning. It'll be cold throughout the entire weekend, but next week we'll have temperatures back in the 40s and 50s, which is actually pretty average for this time of year. That would be about 49 degrees, our average afternoon high. Today only 25 for a high, and that's the temperature we'll hit tomorrow, which is average at least close to it for our average overnight low. 18 degrees downtown now, 17 at DIA, and our winds about 7 miles an hour. And we have that nice coating of snow across the area. We are watching this next batch of snow come in through western Colorado. We have a few leftover flakes here for the eastern plains, but as we continue to see this energy come our direction, that's what's going to come our way into early tomorrow morning. Now we do have scattered snow showers here from Salida down toward Walsenburg and into southern Colorado, but by tomorrow morning we'll be in the single digits and teens for overnight lows tomorrow morning. One of the coldest, 1 in Sterling and 7 in Greeley, with teens and 20s off to the west. Here right around Metro Denver, we'll have 9 in Aurora, 14 in Broomfield, and 11 for Castle Rock. As for that futurecast tomorrow morning, we'll start to see the snow showers ramp up through the morning hours. This will be by about 9:30, and we have scattered snow showers here for the area. Should still be pretty light, even as that energy is moving to the south after about noon. Now, winter weather advisories in effect for tomorrow here for our northern and central mountains and for the eastern plains. Also, winter storm warnings for a bit heavier snow into southwestern Colorado. We're looking at less than an inch here for our area as this next round of snow comes on through, about 2 to 4 inches off to the west, and higher amounts down through southwestern Colorado. Could see about 6 to 7 inches. We'll see how that plays out. That's what the models are saying right now. But our highs tomorrow in the mid-20s here for our area, all the way up into northeastern Colorado. We'll have 20s and 30s to the west for our northern and central mountains. So light snow, very cold conditions for the day tomorrow. We'll have temperatures in the teens. It'll feel closer to 0 early on and into the afternoon. Once that snow clears out, it'll be cloudy and cold going into the evening. And the Broncos versus the Browns on Sunday. Lots of sunshine on the way, but temperatures still pretty chilly. 37 at kickoff and 30 by the fourth quarter. And on our Super 7-day forecast, we finally get into the 40s and 50s next week with 50 for a high on Wednesday afternoon. And we'll be right back.
Welcome into Denver 7 Sports. I'm Nick Rothschild. The Nuggets were back in action tonight for the NBA's in-season tournament, but it seems like Jamal Murray's absence is truly taking a toll on these guys now. The group was lifeless in Houston tonight. Scott Hastings called it a lot of standing around basketball, and I'm inclined to agree. Of course, Mr. Consistency still showed up and balled out. Nikola Jokic goes for 38 points and 19 boards, but Denver drops their second in a row, 105-86. Before we get to the Avs highlights, defenseman Sam Girard announced today that he's entering treatment for severe anxiety and depression that has led to alcohol abuse. Girard is getting help from the NHL's Player Assistance Program. He will be out indefinitely. Avs in Minnesota tonight, and we found ourselves an unlikely hero in the third. Curtis McDermott, known more for his fisticuffs than his stick skill, but that is a goal of the highest order. Dermy gets the game winner, final score 3-2. Another no-doubter in the Caribbean for the Buffs, taking on Kentucky Tamaya Sadler. Two great games in paradise, but it was Jalen Sherrod who made the play of the day. Heading to halftime, Sherrod beats the buzzer, then sprints to the locker room. Jalen finished with 15 points. Colorado rolls to 6-0, 96-53. And now it's time for our favorite part of the Friday show. Let's get to our Broncos Minute.
Steve, the Cleveland Browns defense is gnarly, and it's led by Myles Garrett, the Goldman of sacks. This guy leads the league. How do you slow him down if you're the Broncos?
Well, obviously, you got to chip him with the running backs on pass plays. You got to run some misdirections, try to get around the outside, try to wear him down throughout the game. But as the great player that he is, he's going to get his. So, we got to make sure we minimize his impact, though.
Offensively, it's been a struggle on third down. Is there something you want to see to help this team gain more momentum offensively so it doesn't come down to the last play or two?
Yeah, I know we've done a great job of really minimizing the mistakes on the offensive side of the ball. I love that part of it, trying to establish the run game. I know everybody wants to see the big plays, the exciting plays downfield, but you got to set them up with the run play. So we got to establish that run first, and then we can hit them with some deep plays.
Maybe it's the week that Marvin Mims gets
That's right.
Fresh off a bye week, Colorado Mines begins their run at that elusive national championship tomorrow, hosting Augustana University. And while a week off was great for the Ore Diggers to rest and get healthy, quarterback John Matoka has no patience for R&R.
I don't know about y'all, but when I was watching TV, I want to be out there. Having a bye week is nice and resting, but I feel like I'm missing out on a game. So even more exciting, even more build up for this first playoff game for us, and hoping to get as many games as we can out of the season.
Mines head coach Pete Sturbick is facing his alma mater this weekend in Augustana. Of course, he says there are no divided loyalties when it's win or go home in the playoffs. We'll be right back.
Denver 7 is teaming up with Safeway this holiday season to help Coloradans in need.
It's easy to donate. At checkout, you'll be asked to round up your purchase, or you can donate right on the pin pad. Every dollar you give stays in our community, helps more than 80 nonprofit organizations and food banks across the state.
And you can also visit denver7.com/holiday helpings to learn more right now. And let's go to Stacy for one final check of tonight's forecast.
Very cold conditions in through tonight. Our overnight low will be 11 and then 25 for a high again tomorrow with some light snow through the morning. That should taper off into the afternoon. Sunny and cool on Sunday for the Bronco game, 37 degrees for a high, and we'll have 40s and 50s into next week. But just be prepared that these wind chill factors will be around 0 tonight and early tomorrow.
Bundle up. It's
it's
freezing.
cold.
Don't go out. Thanks so much for watching.
Have a great night, everyone. We'll see you back here again tomorrow.